Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Canal Algérie's nightly news. On to the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, receives the Iranian Foreign Affairs Minister Abbas Araghchi. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, receives as well the Algerian researcher and scientist Karim Zghi. Consolidated International Front tops the proceedings of an international seminar held by the Military Institute for Documentation, Evaluation and Foresight. And the editorial of Al Jaish magazine highlights the steady move of Algeria towards a prosperous future with a clear-sighted vision. Welcome back. We begin with tonight's top story as the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received on Tuesday the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Abbas Araghchi. The audience took place in the presence of the Principal Private Secretary to the Presidency of the Republic, the Minister of State, Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf. Here's what the Iranian Foreign Minister had to say.
I had the honor and the privilege to meet the President of the Algerian Republic. The meeting was very warm, during which I conveyed the greetings of the Iranian President, as well as those of the Iranian people. I reiterated the invitation of the Iranian President to his Algerian counterpart to Iran. The relations between the two nations are profound, brotherly and solid. We share the same point of view relating to regional and international issues. We have as well regular consultations. During the meeting, we reviewed bilateral relations, including economic cooperation and political consultation regarding the latest development, notably in Palestine. I seized the opportunity to hail the brave and fair stance of Algeria and those of the Algerian president. With these positions, we are nearing the end of these crimes perpetrated by the Zionist entity against the Palestinian people. I pay tribute to the Algerian martyrs. Once again, my gratitude for the warm welcome, progress our relations, waiting for a visit to be paid by the Algerian President to Tehran.
In related news, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Abbas Araghchi, who is on an official visit to Algeria, was also received by the Minister of State, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, where they evoked different issues related to bilateral cooperation in addition to regional and international current issues. In another presidential activity, the President of the Republic received the Algerian researcher and scientist Karim Zghi. The audience took place in the presence of the Principal Private Secretary to the Presidency of the Republic, the Minister Delegate in charge of renewable energies, Noureddin Yasser. Later on, Karim Zghi made the following statement.
Many thanks for the President who has received me. We talked about batteries and mining fields. Those batteries can be used in e-cars and energy storage. We will work with the Energy Ministry to review the production process. This project should be put into concrete form. It will generate job opportunities. Algeria has exceptional ecosystem. It abounds with many potentialities, including schools and universities. We will work together. The President is siding with us to produce these secure batteries being used by Tesla and Mercedes and other companies in China. Thanks and long live Algeria.
The topic of strengthening the internal front and national cohesion between internal challenges and external threats was the theme of a two-day conference organized by the Military Institute for Documentation, Evaluation and Foresight of the Ministry of National Defense. The event took place at the National Army Circle, Ibn Massoud, 1st Military Region, under the supervision of Major General Saleh Ben Bisha, Secretary General of the Ministry of National Defense. The meeting was attended by the advisor to the President of the Republic in charge of Defense and Security Affairs, the President of the the High Islamic Council, the director of the National Institute for Global Strategy Studies, heads of departments, central directors from the Ministry of National Defense, as well as senior officials from the National People's Army, general staff, and other state executives.
During his opening address, the Secretary General of the Ministry of National Defense emphasized that the scientific conference would serve as a new contribution to unite efforts and strengthen the internal front in the face of threats targeting our country. Major General Bimbisha said that it is firmly believed that this scientific conference will be crowned with recommendations and proposals through which efforts may be united, and the key elements of a national strategy brought to light will reinforce the internal front against which all attempts to undermine national security and unity will be broken. At the end of the address, warm words of welcome would be extended once again to all those who have accepted the invitation, with success and achievement wished to all professors, experts and guests. Gratitude is also expressed to the Military Institute for Documentation, Evaluation and Foresight for the organization of such events. He then officially kicked off the official opening ceremony. Later on, the director of the Military Institution for Documentation, Evaluation and Foresight of the Ministry of National Defense presented an analysis of the rapidly changing international and regional situation marked by instability and rising conflicts. This calls for unified efforts to strengthen national cohesion in service of our country's supreme interests. The conference, aimed at addressing threats to national cohesion and exploring ways to involve all stakeholders, includes several lectures by experts on topics such as citizenship in school programs, the role of Algerian diplomacy in promoting national identity, and economic development strategies. It was also marked by open debates and contributions from specialists, underscoring the importance of strengthening national unity, civil peace, and a sense of pride and belonging to the country.
In its latest issue, titled Securing the Present for a Brighter Future, Al-Jaish editorial emphasized that Algeria is steadily advancing on the path to progress and prosperity with a sound and wise vision. The country prioritizes national interests and sovereignty above all else. The editorial highlighted that all the development projects approved by the President of the Republic, which have been practically implemented, are entirely aimed at serving the citizen and meeting his needs. It also underlined the pivotal role of the People's National Army as a fundamental guarantee for the continuity of this developmental journey within the framework of security and stability. Coming up in our news edition. The Malian junta is helplessly trying to conceal its all-level setbacks, plunging the country into a spiral of chaos and instability. The military junta in power in Mali uses every outlet and diversion to maintain its hold on power, even at the risk of plunging the country into insecurity and instability. Medan Mafa explains.
In an already tense regional climate, Bamako is adding fuel to the fire. Serious accusations, aggressive rhetoric and hostile actions. The Malian transitional government is escalating provocations against Algeria. But behind this material stance, some see it as a strategy of diversion.
Pour la première fois dans notre histoire,
For the first time in our history, Mali is in a state of escalation with Algeria. This has happened because of the will of one man, General Assimi Goïta, self-proclaimed president and self-proclaimed general, who has no business being at the head of the Malian state. To distract from his illegality, he feels compelled to seek conflicts by any means. This is a regime that thrives only in poverty. It always seeks crises and problems in order to exist. It always provokes Algeria to distract from the illegitimacy of these regimes. There is nothing left to offer.
par tous les moyens. Voilà un régime qui ne baigne que dans la boue.
The failure of the regime, born from an unconstitutional process, has become evident at every level, on the political, economic, and even the security and stability of the country.
Assimi Goïta utilise des drones pour tuer.
Assimi Goïta used a drone to kill community leaders of a group that signed a peace agreement with the Tamilians, cowardly bombing community leaders and autonomous leaders whom he suddenly labeled as terrorists.
Avec l'État malien. Il a dénoncé l'accord de paix pour préférer verser le sang malien.
Lacking tangible response to the aspirations of the Malian people and to make its failures, the military junta is opting for escalation, even going so far to create conflicts with neighboring countries.
To Morocco now, where the Makhzen is accused of fueling tensions in Africa to destabilize the continent. This move comes after normalizing relations with the Zionist entity. More insights with Salim Mir.
Under the guise of economic ambition and cooperation agreements, Rabat is sowing division within the African Union, fueling tensions and fostering instability that undermine the continent's unity. In the Sahel and beyond, Morocco pursues a divide and rule strategy, diverting attention from its own internal shortcomings and deepening social crises affecting its people in exchange for strategic and technological support. The Makhzen has embraced normalization even at the cost of compromising its economic sovereignty. Recent agreements reflect an increasing external grip on Moroccan economic decision-making in line with a broader Zionist agenda seeking to entrench itself in Africa. Moroccan citizens are not unaware. Many recognize their country as being used as a launching pad into Africa for foreign interests with little regard of the continent's well-being. Even more troubling, the kingdom has become a hub for drug and human trafficking, an epicenter for criminal networks that exploit the most vulnerable. Morocco no longer champions fair causes. Instead, it appears committed to stalling the continent's progress and undermining collective initiatives, even if it means undermining efforts that could foster Pan-African solidarity.
The investigation conducted by the British newspaper Declassified UK and the Irish investigative organisation The Ditch revealed that the Tangier Metport is set to receive a Maersk shipping vessel on April 20th, which will be transporting components for American F-35 fighter jets to the Zionist entity. These jets are used to carry out deadly raids on the Gaza Strip. While Spain has refused to allow such a ship to dock in its ports due to its ignoble mission, the Makhzen has accepted it. The investigation reveals that the Tangier port is being used as a major transit point for shipping this type of equipment. The components will be unloaded and reloaded onto a second ship, the next Maersk, which will head towards the occupied Palestinian territories. And the Sahrawi file, human rights violations committed by the Makhzen in the occupied Sahrawi territories are denounced by the international solidarity with Sahrawi detainees. In Europe, the refugee camps have organized demonstrations and meetings to put an end to these violations. Salim Miroh explains.
While the international solidarity with the Sahrawi detainees is launched in Europe, the refugee camps are moving at the same pace, organizing marches and meetings, calling for an end to human rights violations and abuses in Moroccan prisons. The Sahrawi people are determined to continue their struggle, and the Sahrawi state has raised its voice at the international level. The objective of this demonstration is to express international solidarity with our cause and to call on international opinion to pressure the Moroccan occupier to release the Sahrawi political detainees. The international movement of solidarity with the Sahrawi people wants to exert pressure on the occupier to release the detainees. The Sahrawi people continue their struggle to snatch their independence. Sahrawi women are fighting alongside their brothers to secure the Sahrawi people's right to self-determination and free themselves from the yoke of the Moroccan occupier. These detainees lost their youth in Moroccan jails for having fought for the freedom of the Sahrawi people. This is the umpteenth call from the Sahrawi people to the international community and the free people of this world to back them in their quest for freedom and independence.
The UN agencies and humanitarian actors have presented on Tuesday in Algiers the first annual report of the response plan to Sahrawi refugees 2024-2025. The report, launched at the end of 2023, underlines the progress reached in support of Sahrawi refugees living in the 5 camps in Tindouf. The interim resident coordinator of the United Nations in Algeria, Natasha Van Rijn, hailed in a statement to the press the very positive and extremely important collaboration between the UN system and its partners on one side and the Algerian government on the other, adding that around 60% of the required financial means were reached during 2024 thanks to Algeria. In Gaza, war crimes pile up, journalists are silenced, medics targeted, and even UN institutions are not spared. Hospitals lie in ruins, and the Zionist occupier continues its genocide against Palestinians in full view of the world. Manal Maafa with more.
A new massacre in Gaza's Khan Yunis. This time the targets are journalists. Bombed while asleep, they were set on fire under the watch of cameras and their neighbors. Another heinous crime documenting the barbaric nature of the Zionist occupier and its genocide. Even footage of children were captured by cameras that kept on recording until the last breath taken by the journalists who became martyrs. At least 210 journalists were killed since the beginning of the Zionist genocide in October of 2023. It is a crime against journalists. We are here to convey the truth. As journalists, our job is to make known the suffering of our people to the world. It is yet another war crime among many others committed by the Zionist occupier, as it is the case of the 15 members of the Red Crescent recently discovered in a mass grave. Journalists on the ground are the only ones reporting the reality of what is happening in Gaza. It is a new red line crossed by the Zionists, who in reality have no limits. As a result, dozens of hospitals turned into ruins. The occupier killed and arrested hundreds of medical corps members, some of which are currently being tortured in underground prison cells or have completely vanished. On the occasion of the World Health Day, we call on the international community to send us dialysis machines, medical equipment and critical medical supplies so that we would be able to save lives. Red lines mean nothing for the occupier. War crime after the other. Journalists and medics are targeted and even UN institutions are not spared. Gaza is bleeding and collapsing before the world's eyes. And the question is, how long will the international silence remain?
The Minister of State of Energy, Mines and Renewable Energies, Mohammed Alqab, took part in the kickoff of the Mediterranean Energy Conference, an exhibition in Ravenna, Italy, in the presence of the CEOs of Sonatrach and Sonalgas and the Algerian ambassador to Italy. Alqab emphasized the strategic nature of this event in light of the economic, climatic, and geopolitical challenges, emphasizing the strength of Algerian-Italian relations and the role of this meeting in strengthening the bilateral partnership and building an integrated energy future in the Mediterranean region. The conference was also an opportunity to strengthen cooperative relations with international companies, such as the Italian companies Eni and Saipem, which expressed their willingness to support Algeria through ambitious projects based on innovation in the energy transition. On the occasion, Alqab reiterated Algeria's commitment to strengthen cooperation with its strategic partners, led by Eni, with a view of intensifying exploration, production, and infrastructure development activities. In higher education, a new platform titled Study in Algeria was launched by the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research that aims to facilitate leave to foreign students inscription in Algerian universities online in a fast and efficient manner. And with that, we end tonight's news. Thank you for watching. Take care.